Oh, that's what's making that noise. And oh, I think we're live. We're live. Okay. Hello, welcome to you guys, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us on late this evening. We had some, hey, life happens, and sometimes internet connections don't work and you're traveling and crazy stuff happens. So, but we're here. We wanted to bring you some goodness that Jennifer and I were missing Melissa Ashford Johnson tonight, but Jennifer and I are on to bring you guys some great stuff about bringing joy back into the holiday season and bringing you things, helping you fight sweet tooth cravings and so much more. Okay. So, Jennifer and I are so excited that you're joining us tonight on our Sunday Night Live.
We are.
Jennifer is joining us from her warm home in Houston, Texas. Actually, is it hot there? Is it cold?
Well, it was earlier. It was like 70. It was like 75 today, but then there's a cold front coming in tonight, so it's gonna cool back down.
Oh, okay. Well, I am in my truck. Okay. No, I'm not driving. I'm parked. I'm stationary. But I am in Parlay, California. I don't know. That's how you pronounce it, but I would like to say it like that. You know, like Target, like I shop at Target.
Very fancy when you say it.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it? When you say like, I am in Parlay, California, it makes it sound so...
Now, if you had your red lipstick on and had your hair up in the thing tonight,
yes,
fancy when you said Parlay.
Yes, totally. And I think it's about 40 something degrees here. So it's chilly. It is chilly. And I think it might get down to the 30s tonight. So a little bit of frost and stuff. So, but we're so excited you're here. You're choosing to join us. If you're on live with us, say hello. And let me see so that I can see your comment. I think we have a couple people on with us. Say hello. Let us know where you're joining in from. And let me see if I can. Oh, here we go. There we go. Hey, Vivian. Hey, Erlene. Hey, Sherry. Glad you guys are joining us tonight. So we've got some more hot topics for you guys. And we are going to be talking about elevation, the elevation blend. We're going to be talking about the oil eucalyptus and even doTERRA's facial cleanser and Fennel. And forget, it's all brought to you by the letter E and F. So we have so much to cover tonight. And we do have a gift for those of you who are tuning in at the beginning. Yes. This month, inside our private Facebook group, just for our customers, inside the Essential Life Tribe, we are sharing 31 days of frankincense, which is an oil we're going to talk about tonight. We're sharing DIYs, tips, recipes, hacks, all with your frankincense. And we started it yesterday. So jump in there. If you are not a part of that group, comment below, say newbie or help into the group, and we can get you connected. But all 31 days, we're sharing all your uses that you can do with your frankincense that, I don't know if you've heard, but you can actually get that free this month.
Free? I had somebody message me and they were so excited to find out to actually get 4 of them. She goes, okay, not that I'm going to put in 4 orders, but I'm definitely doing more than one. So that person, you know who you are if you're watching now. But yeah, super excited.
Yes, I know. And believe it or not, people do that. They do it in multiple orders so that they can get multiple free frankincense. I can tell you I'm also doing that because I don't know if anybody, well, those of you who are the Essential Life Tribe, I did a video last night and I showed my bottle of frankincense and it was very sadly almost empty. And so I, for one, am also one that's very happy that I can get it free this month. So in case you don't know what doTERRA is offering this month, with any 200 PV order this month, so essentially a $200 order this month, anytime this month, whether you're new to enrolling with doTERRA, whether you are sharing with a friend and helping them get started with their oils, or you yourself are ordering anytime this month, you can get a free 15 milliliter bottle of frankincense, which is huge. So, in fact, one of my little boys just today, yes.
Because normally Amy is our Vanna, and so she's really good at this. However, I missed my cue. So there's our bottle of frankincense.
Yes, yes. And that is, I think it's like a $90-something retail oil bottle. So, yeah. And it's very difficult to source. So that's why it's such a high valued oil. So we're so excited about that. So, so that is our gift to you. And so yeah, we're talking about elevation, eucalyptus. Some of these maybe you're not even familiar with. We're going to be talking about Fennel and doTERRA's Fade of Touch. We're going to be talking about fractionated coconut oil, frankincense, and frankincense about these oils. Now, you know, do you want to know about fighting sweet tooth cravings? Or maybe not this applies to you, but maybe you're getting angry and maybe there's something that you need help with, or just a friend might need help with.
Your friend is angry.
Yes, yes. Or are you maybe a breastfeeding mom, or you know someone who is, and you're wondering what they could do to help with that? Or maybe you're wondering, what is the difference between fractionated coconut oil and regular coconut oil? Like, what does that even mean? And, or are you somebody who's just struggling with finding joy this season, and wondering if there's any of your oils that could help? Or what's the difference between fractionated coconut oil versus just other oils that you could use with your essential oils? So, we polled inside our exclusive customer Facebook group as well. And here, the top responses from you guys were about fighting sweet tooth cravings. What can we do about that?
Surprised me in the least.
No. And especially when we're thinking about the holiday season approaching and we've just come off of Thanksgiving, like, help. Yes. Right? And the other top request was about getting angry. If there's something we can do to help with that. So we're going to talk about that tonight too. And of course, even if this doesn't apply to you, if this only applies to friends of yours or family members of yours, maybe you can share this information with them as well. In fact, go ahead and click the share button if you're finding these topics beneficial to somebody else you know. And then the other hot topic was fractionated coconut oil versus other carrier oils, and what's the difference between that and your regular coconut oil. So, so Jennifer, let's just cut to the chase about the sweet tooth cravings.
Yes, let's. Okay, so let us show you our little friend, Fennel.
Yes.
And he's going to tell us all about it.
Yes. Now I'm curious, those of you who, you guys know that Fennel, have you ever experienced Fennel in your life? You know, it tastes a little bit like licorice. It's a licorice smell, a licorice flavoring. Comment below, put a 1 in the comments if you love, because people have a love-hate relationship with Fennel, don't you think? Comment below with 1.
That's right. Here's the thing. Okay, so like I can't stand the smell of licorice. I really can't. But me smells good. So like I really don't get, and I'm like super sensitive to licorice smell. I just
yeah, it's a little bit licoricey, but yet it's not. So if you've ever smelled Fennel before, the Fennel, I think it's a root, right? Is it a root?
I think it is.
If you've ever smelled that before, put a 1 in the comments if you love the smell, and put a 2 if you're like, get it away from me. I'm curious. I love, it has like a real sweetness to it when you smell it, I feel like. And so I actually don't mind it at all. I like it. But you can actually use your Fennel to help cut down on sweet tooth cravings. So it's something you could put in your tea during the day, like a hot tea, especially as we're entering into cooler season. You can put it in your hot tea. You can put it in your water. And it actually even gives your water, or whatever you're drinking, a little sweetness to it as well. So, but you can even use your Fennel in cooking. And your recipes, it goes great with dips and salads when you want to add that little kind of sharp flavor to it. Now you could even add, and all you need is like a toothpick amount, you guys, just a toothpick amount to like some cucumber salads, like what bean dips, those kinds of things. And the bonus to that is because since fennel's this like a spice or a root, it has a lot of digestive benefits too. So you're doing like a double win there. But always just remember, start small if you're using it in cooking, and it can kind of help curb those sweet tooth cravings too. Now, it does also have some diuretic properties as well. So if you're using it, like multiple days in a row, you may find that you may even need to take a break on it, because you can find that you may be like shedding like water weight. So that's kind of a bonus too, but you may find that you're shedding too much water weight if you're doing it just over and over and over. So just keep that in mind. But I love fennel for that. And I have a personal experience with fennel that's totally unrelated to that. But if you or someone you know is breastfeeding, fennel can actually help with milk production in the body, which I'm like, how awesome is that? How awesome is that? And so I was actually, some of you may know this, but I was actually, we were introduced to doTERRA right after our twins were about 4 months old. And I was breastfeeding both of them. And those of you know, that's a lot of milk production, right? I'm feeding 2 babies, right? And I had some struggles with that. And long story short, I discovered that could help with it. And so all you have to do is apply it topically to the area and in between feedings, and you can dilute it. And in fact, I think I even have if I can still pull it up today, I'll see if I can pull it up. I'm going to screenshot and put in the comments tonight a recipe that you can use with your fennel in a roller bottle. So please, share this with someone that you know that could benefit from this, because there are a lot of mamas out there who wish that they felt like they could do a better job with feeding their babies, and they feel like they're a failure, and they may not be. They may just need a little bit more support. So so this was really beneficial to me. So please share that. And I love the benefits, the awesome benefits of helps with our oils. So let's go on to topic 2 of getting angry.
Yes. Okay. Not that we are talking about ourselves, because we never get angry. We're totally asking for a friend.
Yeah. Not when we're cooped up in the car with 3 kids for 5 hours. No,
not when we're getting in way late compared to when we were supposed to get there, and we're trying to be, and it's not working.
Yes. No.
That's it. We're not talking about any of those situations.
Right.
So I am going to talk about like basically almost all of the oils we have to talk about tonight, because here's the thing, you guys, we have some really good ones in this group that for those friends we know that are getting super angry and having issues around the holidays. Okay. So the first one I'm going to talk about is forgive. Okay. And so it comes in, yes, thank you. I'm trying. You're so much better at this than I am, but I'm trying.
Well, and I'm even applauding for the oil itself too. I mean, you're doing great, Vanna skills, but I'm applauding for the oil too.
Thank you. And then it comes pre-diluted in the touch. So let's talk about this. So Forgive has got all kinds of good stuff in it, and it's one of the emotional aromatherapy oils. So what's in it is, let's see here. It is spruce. It's got some spruce. It's got some juniper berry. It's got myrrh. Okay. And so here's the thing. There were a couple of different things that Amy and I were talking about a little bit earlier when it comes to forgive. So we found out last year at convention that there was actually a clinical trial where a cancer center tried the emotional aromatherapy oils to find out how they supported not only the patients, but also the staff members that were working with the patients as they were going through treatment. And so what they did was they tried each of the emotional aromatherapy oils. Wasn't it for like 2 or 3 weeks a piece, Amy?
I think so. And they
I
were just
think
kind of tracking how they were handling
Mhm.
their day-to-day lives
Yes.
inside the oncology clinic. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So, you guys, I was totally blown away to find out in that study that Forgive was actually the one. I would have thought that it would have been Console, but Forgive was the one that not only helped people who were angry, who were kind of questioning, who were upset. This was probably, I mean, to me, Amy, don't you think this is the one blend in the emotional aromatherapy kit that I think does probably, they're all amazing, but I think this one does more to support people no matter what kind of mood or, you know, situation that they're in than maybe any of the other ones do.
I think you're right. You know that saying about when in doubt, use frankincense, or when in doubt, pull Frank out.
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes to emotions, it's
Mhm.
almost like when in doubt, pull
Mhm.
out your Forgive.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because you guys, it didn't matter what it was that they were dealing with, if they were sad, if they were angry, whatever was happening, Forgive was the oil blend that seemed to not only help the staff, but also help the patients that were being treated there as well. And so I was kind of blown away by that. Another one that we've got to talk about tonight is Elevation. And this one is super special to me because I reminded Amy tonight that when we first started with oils 4 years ago, that you know, my son Jake was really struggling emotionally at that point in time, and we actually had a way to pinpoint what oils he needed, and Elevation was the one that came up. And so this has got all kinds of yummy citrus things in it. To me, I still love the smell of it, and every time I smell it now, it's such a positive reminder to me of how far Jacob has come, because he absolutely loved it. So it's got lavender and lavender, Hawaiian sandalwood, tangerine, Melissa, ylang ylang, and I can't read the other ones there. Osmanthus, it looks like, and lemon myrtle. So it's a citrusy kind of oil, and we used it in the diffuser, which normally people may have, especially at night when you're trying to calm and sleep and things like that. It might not always be a good idea to put the citruses in the diffuser, but I will tell you something. This was the one that Jacob needed the most. And for my kiddo who hadn't slept in his room for 4 or 5 months and was only sleeping a couple of hours a night, this is the oil that when it was in the diffuser, he slept all night long and stayed in his bed. And so that to me was huge. This will always be one of my favorite oils because of what it did for him. So this is a super great option. Basically, it's referred to as the joyful blend. Okay. So Forgive is the renewing blend and Elevation is the joyful blend. All right. So if you're feeling kind
I
of,
love that.
I dare you to smell Elevation and stay mad. Like it's
Yes.
to do.
Yes. I have a friend too that that's actually an oil she loves to use at night for sleep. She says it helps put her to sleep, which is, it seems counterintuitive because for me, it's very uplifting and energizing.
Right.
And so it's interesting how they can affect us in different ways.
Yep. Yep.
So I love that.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we get to talk about frankincense. Okay, so here's our. Okay, so.
And hey, before you share, Jennifer, if you guys are just joining us just now, don't forget to go back to the beginning when you're watching the replay, because we shared an awesome gift that we're sharing with you guys about frankincense. So you're going to want to go back to that. So, okay, go ahead.
All right. So frankincense, it is, like Amy said earlier, when in doubt, pull frankincense out is what the saying is, right? And so it's one that you can get on the 200 PV promo this month. You love frankincense, comment below and say Frank love, because I do. I'll go comment after we get done. This was another one that when we just got started was so important to me, but emotionally, here's what it does. It's very grounding. And so the best way to explain that is, so here's kind of middle ground, right? So if you're really stressed out and you're up here, it helps to bring you back down here. But if you're kind of down here in the dumps, it helps to raise you up a little bit and just kind of even you out and balance you, right? So it would be, honestly, it'd be a great one to pair with either the Elevation or the Forgive, because here's the other thing about frankincense. It acts as a booster. So anything that you put it with, it makes that oil work even a little bit better than it does by itself. Besides all of the amazing skin benefits, all of the amazing, anti-spasmodic kind of stuff that you get with it, there are so many good things about this oil. But what I love it for the most, and really one of my first experiences with it, I don't know if you remember this, Amy, but we were talking about when I first got my kit, I got the Family Essentials kit. And it had a little thing of frankincense in there, and you're like, oh, it's so good for the skin. And so I was like, ooh, woohoo. Okay, so I went and got an unscented cleanser and started washing my face with it. And that was still during the time where I was prone to just start bawling at a moment's notice because, the gravity of the situation with Jake at that point was quite honestly, he didn't want to be here anymore. And so, I would be fine 1 minute and I would be sobbing the next minute. And I started noticing that when I used Frank on my face, I didn't cry as much. And it took me a little bit to kind of put the two together. And then I was like, oh, but wait, it's a grounding oil. And so I kept washing my face in Frank every day so that that wasn't caught anymore,
Bonus.
So,
it was like a twofer. Clearing up the skin and and clearing up your emotions.
Yes.
Too. Oh,
yes.
I love that.
I know. So those are, hopefully that gives you some good options with how to work through just, the anger, the stress, the awkward situations. What do I do? I'm in this, because we go through so much of that during the holidays, but you've got some great choices in here tonight for that.
Yes. A lot of good choices to really help us with any kind of those emotional needs during the holidays too. So, hey, Bethany, you're joining. Oh, I'm looking at your comments here. It says, Sherry says she loves Fennel. Oh, and Bill says, I bet it's good in pizza dough.
Oh,
I never thought about that.
Huh.
Okay, I'm very intrigued now, Bill. So, Bill, you're going to have to try that now and you're going to have to report back to us.
You do. You have to report back.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about another hot topic about fractionated coconut oil. And what's the difference between this and other carrier oils? And while we're talking about that, we're also going to talk about what's the difference between that and just your regular cooking coconut oil. Yes. So fractionated coconut oil is really just a fancy term for saying that the fatty acids have kind of been removed from it. So it doesn't solidify like your cooking coconut oil does. And bonus, I think, I like the smell of coconuts, but fractionated coconut oil is actually odorless. So I like the smell of coconuts, but I don't always like to smell like, like I just stepped off the sun tanning beach, life or something. So it's odorless. And so makes it a little bit different. And typically you aren't going to take it internally like you would like your regular coconut oil. So, so now what's the difference between fractionated coconut oil and other carrier oils? So there are some other carrier oils that you can use. For instance, if you know that you are allergic to coconuts or maybe the nut family that extends into coconuts or something like that, there are other carrier oils that you can use. And all the purposes of carrier oils is really to help your body absorb the oils more easily into your skin, which makes it ideal when you're putting oils on your skin topically. And so you can use other oils, like for instance, jojoba oil or almond oil or even grapeseed oil. You just want to look for very high quality sources of those. So look either at your local stores in the natural section, and try to find even organic sources, because if you're going to be shelling out to be using the highest quality of essential oils, you want your carrier oil to match that, So look for your high quality sources of those. You can sometimes even find them online as well. But if you can, I like to use the fractionated coconut oil because it does have a longer shelf life than a lot of those other ones. Agreed. And because it is odorless, and it's just a bonus because it is really good for the skin, without clogging your pores and things like that. So, and it's not really green.
greasy. I think that's
Yes,
too, is that it's not super greasy. It's very lightweight, but it has just like a very it feels really good, really smooth. It feels like it's really just kind of getting into your skin and really helping to revive it a little bit. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I do too. And it helps because it's not greasy. And of course, if you are ever in a pinch, you could always grab olive oil for something if you've got some oils in your eye and you didn't have anything. But it's not an ideal usage for regular uses of your oils because it's so greasy and it can clog your pores and things. So we hope that answers your questions with some things when it comes to carrier oils. I'd love to hear you guys, your experience on using different carrier oils and what your thoughts are on that. I will say one more thing about kind of like a carrier oil, so to speak, when it comes to internal usage. If you would like to, if you're going to consume maybe a spicier oil like oregano or something, and you're putting it in a capsule, instead of adding fractionated coconut oil to that, which isn't typically best internally, and you're not going to be stuffing your solid coconut oil in there, you can actually grab MCT oil, which is a very high quality carrier oil that's very good for it. In fact, Jennifer, you consume that some. Do you know a whole lot about that?
About the MCT oil?
Yeah.
Yeah, so so basically now keep in mind I'm not the science girl, right? But it's medium chain triglycerides, which is supposed to be the really, really good stuff in coconut oil that helps if you are trying to shed some weight, right? It also helps you to stay fuller longer, and it's supposed to support the brain health a little better, okay? And so for me, if I make up veggie capsules like I actually did that, Sherry was actually over here when I did that last weekend because I was mixing up the yarrow palm, black pepper, pink pepper, turmeric veggie capsules. And so I used my MCT oil to put in there with it as the carrier. And what I noticed was, even though it had like turmeric in it and the peppers and everything like that, a lot of times people will talk about how, like when they take a veggie capsule, they'll kind of end up burping it back up. And so when you do that, when you put the MCT or something else in with it, you don't, at least I didn't experience it. So that was a good
Yes. I've noticed that too. Yeah.
Sherry was asking if it helps your body to absorb the oils better, why would people use essential oils straight? Sherry, it's really
that's a good question.
It really is. And it really just comes down to, some people, I think the way that they were introduced to oils and things like that. There are some that I use without diluting them first, but I do like to dilute most of them. And so I'll use something, whether it's the unscented lotion or it's the fractionated coconut oil, or I make a salve or something like that. I do like to dilute a lot of them, but there's sometimes where I will use them and they're not diluted. And maybe it's just, I don't have the coconut oil with me at that point in time, but I know I need something and I've got the bottle in my purse. A lot of times that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, sometimes when it's just kind of more of a convenience sake. But really, when you have your labels on your oils, like for instance, you have oils that are labeled as you can use this neat. It's not really a matter of that you should use it neat. It's just if it came down to it, you can, because it's mild enough that it's not going to harm your skin, if that makes sense, or it might not be sensitive on your skin. But even those, we typically will use some kind of carrier because, like we've talked about, it just helps it to absorb better into the skin. But yeah, there's been instances too where maybe we're out and we've got the bottle and oh, we don't have a carrier with us. Well, let's just use it anyway. It's better than nothing, right? So, but that's a really good question. Rhonda, you said you've used primrose oil and found that it turned rancid after about 6 or 7, 8 months on sitting on the shelf. You'll stick with FCO. So yeah, you can use other carrier oils, but just like Rhonda's saying, yeah, FCO has a longer shelf life than a lot of those. So, so it helps with doing that. So ingesting oils or rubbing them on your body.
Okay, so Earlene, she was asking about rubbing them on your body, but then we kind of squirreled into talking about ingesting them because of the conversation around the coconut oil and, what do you do if you are going to take them internally? The fractionated coconut oil is not for internal use. Okay, so that's why we kind of ended up going down the road of let's talk about some other things that you can do with it instead.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why MCT oil is a good choice if you are going to want to use a carrier oil with your internal use in a capsule, because it's got some amazing health benefits to it as well. So, so we only have 2 more things to talk about tonight, and these were not hot topics, but we're still going to talk about eucalyptus and also the amazing facial cleanser. So let's talk about eucalyptus, you guys. This is an oil that I have been using a lot lately. Now it is in your Breathe blend. So it has a lot of respiratory health properties. And we've been using a lot since the air quality has been poor, you know, in Northern California. It's been coming up on our iToby scans. So we've been diffusing it so that we're really kind of opening up our airways and things like that. But it has even some emotional benefits as well. Shocker. And shocker that Jennifer's already got it pulled up too, right?
I need my emotions tiara. I need a tiara for
so
this.
Tell us, how can it help us emotionally, Jennifer?
Yeah, okay, so here's what it says in the book is that eucalyptus addresses a deep emotional or spiritual issue of the need to be sick. So if you are somebody that says, oh, I'm always sick, or oh, it seems like I'm always coming down with something, it helps to let go of that. It also supports people who just kind of constantly are facing illness, right? And it helps, you know, of course, it helps with like the common cold, that kind of thing. But the last thing that it says here is that it encourages individuals to take full responsibility for their own health and bestows trust that one's needs and desires can be met even if they allow themselves to be well. So sometimes people can, you know, may use it as a way to get attention, maybe, especially maybe like kiddos, right? And
the word hypochondriac is coming to my mind.
Yes.
I mean, if you know someone that is constantly feeling like they're sick all the time. This could be an oil that could benefit them.
Yes. So there you go.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Plus, I just love the way eucalyptus smells too. I like the way it makes me feel too. And then I'm curious, how many of you, I'm curious, what is your favorite facial cleanser? If you're watching this, even I know men also wash their face sometimes too. So I would love to hear, what is your favorite facial cleanser? And I'm curious, do you get any bonus points when you buy it from like Walgreens or Target or Walmart or wherever you're getting it? I'm curious. Because not only do I like the ingredients that are in doTERRA's facial cleanser, but I also get points back every time I purchase it. And so I get discounts.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm curious. So tell us what oils are in the facial cleanser, Jennifer.
Okay, so it's got melaleuca and peppermint. And I'm looking to see if there's anything else in there. Macadamia seed oil. But basically it's got yucca root extract in it and then soap bark extract. So it's a very gentle way to kind of cleanse your skin, but make sure that you're really getting rid of the gunk on there. And both Amy and I use this. This is the essential skincare line from doTERRA. And I use the entire line and I love the entire line. And so a lot of times when people come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, you don't look like you're 47 and you don't, I just had somebody tell me the other day that my daughter and I look like sisters, and she's 23 and I'm 47. So, you know, being able to use things that I know don't have junk in them and seeing what they do for my skin. I had somebody last week go, oh my gosh, you're glowing. I was like, oh, thank you, you know? And so it's nice because you don't have to question what's in it. And, you know, from time to time, we do talk about how do we reduce the toxic load in our home? And I know in the very beginning, I didn't think that a toxic load was a big deal, but the more that I have kind of delved into the oils and I started to learn about different things, and I started to learn about how different chemicals that are in everyday things like facial cleansers and things like that, outside of like cleaning supplies and everything else, how they can actually truly impact your body, impact your brain. You know, it's not worth it to me to have those kinds of things in my house anymore. And so when you go look in my shower, you see this and you see good shampoo, good conditioner, you know, like I don't use any of the other stuff anymore.
Yes, yes. And if you are new to trying out maybe a doTERRA's skincare line, they actually have 3 skincare lines. And so this is one of them. And Jennifer already mentioned it's part of the essential skincare line. And I like to call this is like a great introductory skincare line for those who are wanting to not be too crunchy granola, but at the same time, they want like the benefits of helping a little bit of science, helping with the fine lines and wrinkles and things, but having the benefits of having their oils infused with it as well. Now, if you're wanting to be a little bit more crunchy and you really don't want anything, any science helping your face or skin, then you may want to try the Virage, or if you have troublesome skin, then you may want to try their HD Clear line. But this is a part of, I love this because it's got the peppermint in there. So it's so invigorating to me in the morning, especially if I'm having a little trouble still waking up. That gets me awake.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. Yes, yes. And I like the way it does a really good job of removing any kind of oils and makeup and things like that too, and dirt and those kinds of things. So,
and I was having a conversation tonight with somebody. And we were talking about, it was by the way, it was when Miss Sonia Bullard, who was the one that was so excited when she found out she could get multiple frankincenses this month. But so we were talking about this idea of, you know, loyalty rewards and how cool it is that you get the points and all of that kind of stuff. And I said, you know, so here's something I would challenge you to do. Like, just sit down and go write out how much you spend on things like skincare, how much you spend on things like shampoo, and how much you spend on things like cleaners for your home, and figure out how much that costs you each month. And then just kind of reallocate that money to go towards trying the doTERRA products. You earn the points back on it, plus you earn free products, you know, so you would be crazy not to. And that's something that has a huge difference for me, because I know sometimes people are like, oh, I feel like I've got lots of oils and I don't know where to go next. But you guys, this stuff, I wouldn't live without it. And I get super stressed out. Like right now it's almost gone. And I'm like, I've been waiting for the Yarrow Palm to be available so I can put in my LRP order. So I'm trying to make this stretch for as long as I can, because I don't want to use anything else on my skin.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love it. Well, I'm going to check our comments before we sign off yet. And Rhonda, you said our skin is our biggest organ. It absorbs everything we put on it, everything good or bad. So put good on it. Yes. Yes. You are preaching to the choir here with that. I love it. Well, join us next week, because we're going to be talking more hot topics about the best citrus oil for summertime. We're going to be talking about some road tripping. We're going to be talking about getting rid of yeast in the body. It's all going to be brought to you by the letter G.
Yes.
Okay. So join us. We're going to be talking about geranium and ginger and grapefruit, green mandarin, and GX Assist.
Oh,
so all kinds of fun stuff next week. Yes. Yes. So all kinds of fun stuff that we're going to be talking about next week. So we look forward to seeing you guys on there. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Bye. Bye.